Hello everyone, welcome to Arka Astro Science, and today in this video I will be talking about multiple things. Starting with the retrogression of Mercury, which is going to take place on 10th of September 2022. This retrogression of Mercury will give rise to many events because just opposite to the sign of Virgo. Now Virgo is the exaltation sign of Mercury, where Mercury is at present in transit. As soon as Mercury starts retrograding, means starts the retrograde motion, just opposite to Virgo we have the sign of Pisces, where Jupiter is already in its retrograde motion, and from the sign of Capricorn, Saturn is aspecting Jupiter by its third aspect. Saturn is also in its retrograde motion. So as soon as Mercury retrogrades, three retrograde planets will be aspecting or impacting directly the sign of Pisces. And if we talk about the sign of Virgo, then Jupiter and Mercury, they both will be in its retrograde motion and it will be impacting the sign of Virgo. So these two signs, Virgo and most importantly Pisces, will be the main center of concern during this next 1 month or so, when these three planets will be in its retrograde motion. If we talk about Jupiter and Saturn, then they will be in its retrograde motion for quite some time. But if we talk about Mercury, then on 2nd of October 2022, Mercury will come back to its direct state. But from 10th of September till 2nd of October, it's a span of around 22 days. So during this particular 22 days, and after that also, because Mercury will come to its direct state on 2nd of October, but it will be in its exaltation sign Virgo, just opposite to Jupiter. So certain things will follow up then also. Now if we talk about Saturn, you see Saturn is aspecting Jupiter by its third aspect. Saturn is aspecting the sign of Cancer by its 7th aspect. Now Cancer is 5th from Jupiter, 5th from Pisces, and Saturn is aspecting the sign of Libra. Now here the sign Libra and the sign Aries becomes very important, because Aries is 2nd from Jupiter and Libra is 2nd from Mercury. Now 2nd house becomes very important over here, because 2nd house deals with our family values, and most importantly our wealth, finances. If we talk about Mercury, then Mercury rules over finance, speech, which is the 2nd house, and Jupiter is itself the significator of the 2nd house. So when we talk about Aries and Libra, Libra is also the 8th house from Pisces. That means the sign Libra deals with transformation related to the sign of Pisces. And since Jupiter is retrograde along with Mercury, Mercury is our intelligence. So during this particular time, there will be a constant struggle within ourselves to hold on to certain things or to leave it out. Because when we talk about Pisces, Pisces is the sign of surrender. Certain things which are beyond our control, certain things which we cannot rule it according to our will and wishes. That is the time when we need to surrender. That is the time we need to trust some higher realm, some higher energy, the supreme soul. That is the sign of Pisces. But Jupiter is retrograde, Jupiter is moving backwards. That means there are certain wills and wishes within ourselves which are not allowing us to go forward. On the other hand, the sign of Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury, the sign Virgo also deals with hard work, competition, because it has the 6th house energy. It also deals with administration, practical mentality. It has nothing to do with surrender, it has nothing to do with salvation or trusting someone beyond the faith. When we trust someone beyond faith, that is the sign of Pisces. Virgo has energy totally opposite to it. So this will be a time when we have to choose one or the other, but in either of the cases there will be a constant struggle within ourselves. Since they are opposite to each other, seventh from each other, that means there can be some kind of struggles between us and our partner. Now when we talk about the sign of Libra, since there will be constant struggle, Libra is the sign which is 8th from Pisces and which is also aspected by Saturn by its 10th aspect. So that means certain changes, certain transformations are going on in our relationships also, how we deal with other people also. Some attachment, some bonding. It can be some new attachments which are compelling us to look forward into our some old attachments, okay, or it can be like we need to march forward and see the light at the end of the tunnel. Because you will see that if you have any prominent placement in the sign of Libra or Aries, because Aries is also 8th from Virgo, if you have any prominent placement in the sign of Libra or Aries in your chart, now that can be sun sign, moon sign, ascendant or multiple planets, you must have been facing this kind of strangulations or struggles from last 2-3 months. Most importantly, next 22 days or so, when Mercury will be also retrograde, this kind of struggles will be as such where you will be forced to take some decisions, because retrogression energies are very different, means they are quite irregular and very sudden. The decisions which you were unable to take before, all of a sudden you may think that yes, now I will just do it, just make it out, I have no other choice. So this kind of feelings can be there. Now this will directly impact us analytically, because when we think it very practically, we have to go past our emotions and compassion. Because you see, when we talk about mathematics, logics, that is Mercury, it has nothing to do with compassion and emotion. While on the other hand, 3 retrograde planets are impacting the sign of Pisces. So that means if at this moment of time we become more emotional, then we can also miss out certain things in our life. So some balance has to be put out. Yes, compassion is required, emotion is required, but again we have to see that in order to carry out our daily lives and everything, especially how we are dealing with other people, we have to be also very practical and grounded, and in reality we have to face the real life in complete true sense. Then only we are going to get good results, because at this moment of time Venus is under the scanner, because Venus is transiting through the sign of Leo and under the impact of Mars. And don't forget that the sign Libra and the sign Taurus, they are also under malefic impact. And if I am not wrong, yes, I am not wrong, 24th of September Venus is going to enter the sign of Virgo and it is going to get debilitated, but it will be just opposite to Jupiter. So that means during that particular time 2 things will be very much evident. I'm not talking about the debilitation of Venus. I'm talking about, since it will be opposite to Jupiter. The first thing is that, you see, Venus and Jupiter, they both are guru. They are very learned, they are very wise, highly knowledgeable. Means you cannot compare their knowledge in one go. They are highly knowledgeable, but they have different strategies. They have different way of training the people. Okay, if you talk about Venus in normal sense, then you will find that Venus is enjoyment, pleasure. I'm not talking about that sense of Venus. I'm talking about Venus means Sukracharya. That Venus I'm talking about. On the other hand, Jupiter is Brihaspati, Devguru Brihaspati. So I'm talking about ideologies. So in one way, you will have the power to judge a situation in both the sense, looking through the glass, seeing both the sides. So suppose any decision comes in front of you, you will have the ability to check both the sides of the coin and make the proper judgment. This will be the best thing. On the other hand, the second part is that, since Jupiter and Venus have different kind of ideologies, and Jupiter will be in its own sign, Pisces, in the retrograde motion, so at times it can behave a bit more stubborn, because it will be moving towards the sign of Aquarius, correct? And Aquarius is a fixed sign. On the other hand, Venus will be debilitated in the sign of Virgo. So that means, since they will be opposite to each other, some clashes, some ego battles, clashes between the partner, between the ideologies, basically thought process. It can be like that I like you, but I may not like your thoughts. This kind of feelings may come after Venus enters the sign of Virgo. Now you can say that yes, during that particular time Mercury will be in the sign of Virgo, although it will be in retrograde motion, but Nij Bhang Raj Yog will be formed. Yes, Nij Bhang Raj Yog will be formed, but the rule is that first the planet will attain its Nicha Avastha and then the Nij Bhang will occur. That means first it will give you the result of debilitation and then cancellation of debilitation will occur. It is not like that since Mercury is present over there, so Nij Bhang will happen. No. Nij Bhang means first it will give you the result of Nicha Avastha. First it will let you feel that yes, there are certain kinds of things which needs to be corrected in the relationship, or how you think about yourself, because here Venus can also make you very critical about yourself also, about your looks also, about your personality. And most important part here is that Virgo and Pisces are so unique sign. Think very carefully. For the Virgo ascendant and Pisces ascendant, the 10th house, the lord of the 10th house is same as the lord of the first house. That means for the Virgo ascendant people, Mercury rules the first house and Mercury rules the 10th house of career, karma, profession. Similarly, for the Pisces ascendant, Jupiter rules the 10th house and the first house. So that means these two retrograde planets, and suppose if you are having any prominent placement in the sign of Virgo or in the sign of Pisces, then certain things will be impacting. The most important part here is the if you talk about associate with Virgo first, then anyone associated with intellectual pursuits or activities, reading, writing, entertainment, or it can be administration, looking into the fact that if Virgo is your 10th house lord, 10th house sign, okay, then it can be administration. Or suppose if Virgo is your ascendant or Virgo is your moon sign, then 10th house will be Gemini for you, correct? Then if you are associated with reading, writing, journal, magazine, mass communication, broadcasting, it can be anything related to science, learning new things, teaching, oratorship, student. Specifically the education industry will be impacted a lot. Although last few months when Jupiter was in retrograde motion, and it is still in retrograde motion, the education industry has been under the scanner. Certain things are going on, but as soon as Mercury will be retrograde just opposite to Jupiter, again few decisions may come up all of a sudden, or sudden change in strategies in education industry, or how you teach, or how you deal with your students, or how you follow your guru. Some changes may come up. Since just opposite to Mercury, Jupiter is retrograding, it may also happen that any teachings which are given to you by your guru, you may feel that, oh no, I can look up to something else also. So suppose your guru says you something, or your preceptor says you something, you may not like it. All of a sudden you may not like it. You may feel, no, I can try out something else, I can get the knowledge from somewhere else, I can, okay, this kind of feelings may come up. And there's where some erratic decisions can be seen. On the other hand, if we talk about the sign Virgo, the professions related to the sign Virgo, if we talk about, then it can be anything related to administration, accountancy, building, because Virgo is an earthy sign. It can be related to real estate, okay, printing, reading, writing. Those things will be impacted a lot. Since Pisces is one of the sign which is related to water element, it is the highest of the watery sign, and Jupiter is retrograde over there, and 3 planets are impacting it. So any profession related to shipping industry, navigation, fishery or fishery department, foreign affairs will be impacted. Okay, now that can be related to means neighboring countries also, something or the other may come up. And since Jupiter is the significator of wealth, our second house, anything related to treasury department, bank or financial institution, any decision related to that, all of a sudden may come up. Because now you see the second house from Jupiter, where Rahu is transiting, and second house from Mercury, where Saturn is impacting directly. See, malefic impacts are there. So what we say, how you speak, everything will be under the scanner. And this is the time when I will just request you that don't waste your money here and there, because the things are like you do it and later on you feel that from last 2 months or 3 months there is a lots of here and there I wasted the money, I wasted my wealth. Okay, so financial decisions has to be taken very clearly and properly during this particular time. Now as the time goes by, you will see that by the end of September, when it comes, you will see Sun, Mercury, Venus, these are the 3 planets which will be transiting in the sign of Virgo, just opposite to Jupiter. So a heavy load of planets will be impacting the sign of Pisces, as if it is asking us that in order to attain certain things, we have to live it, we have to sacrifice certain things, because that heavy brightness of that planet Sun, Surya, will be aspecting the sign of Pisces. All of a sudden you will find that, oh, these are the, it will brighten up in front of you, but yes, Venus will be debilitated. So at times the decision making can be a bit difficult. So during that particular time, be very careful how you deal with your partner. Now it can be any kind of relationship, it can be between you and your partner, your spouse, or even your business partnerships also. Okay, these are the things which you need to be very careful. Okay, I was talking about the professions which will be impacted with respect to Jupiter, that is Pisces. I talked about foreign affairs and all. Now since Jupiter is also is the significator of religious places, religious institutions, so certain things related to that also may show up. Some kind of important decisions or important changes may come up. Okay, during this particular 1 month or more than 1 month or so, when Venus will be debilitated and Mercury will be in the sign of Virgo, just opposite to Jupiter. Okay, and the sign Sagittarius is 10th from Pisces, which is also ruled by Jupiter, which also deals with war or warlike situation, defense or strategy related to defense. So any important decisions related to that may also show up during this particular time. But these are all associated with the mundane aspect of astrology. If we talk about the Jataka Jyotish, means the astrology between you and me, that is the normal person, then I will say during this particular time it is very essential to understand that how we are performing our religious rituals and duties, how we are religiously and spiritually inclined, because sometimes certain answers are hidden in religious scriptures or ancient scriptures. When we follow certain rules and traditions, we get our answers, because in normal day life there are so many frustrations, there are so many stresses out there that we don't get proper answers. And this particular year, from last 2-3 months, when so many this kind of transits are happening, and very soon Mars will be transiting ahead of the sign of Taurus and enter the sign of Gemini. Okay, and again it will retrograde back. So again, so this event is going to continue, and Taurus is 9th from the sign of Virgo. If you see, 9th means higher knowledge. So again some classes can be there. So these things are not going to end all of a sudden. Means if we are talking about specifically the sign of Pisces and Virgo, then maybe in a month or so the things will be coming into picture, that certain things will come in reality in life in front of us. But if we feel that yes, the things will be over, no, all of a sudden the things will not be over, it may get continued. Okay, so take your decisions specifically related to your finance, your relationship, and anything which is holding you back. Think properly with respect to your emotions, but also become very practical. Give it a practical approach also, then only you will get a complete balance. Because when you talk about balance, the sign of Libra, which is getting impacted, and Libra is the transformation for the sign of Pisces. If you want to transform your life with respect to your surrender towards the Supreme Soul, then you have to associate yourself with the sign of Libra, because Libra is the attachment. It is the 8th house, it is the transformation. Okay, either you get completely indulged in the 8th house energy, or you march ahead of the 8th house energy and associate with the 9th house energy, which is the divinity, higher knowledge, higher spiritual knowledge. So in that how we can get the best results. Okay, and if any time if you feel that yes, this particular transits are happening with regards to any kind of malefic planet associated in your horoscope, then I will say that results can be a bit different. Like suppose these planets are transiting over any benefic planet in your horoscope, then the results can be good for you, okay, to some extent. But if it is happening with respect to any kind of malefic planet, then the things can be quite difficult for you. So in either of the cases, you can contact me for any kind of personalized consultations, you can check the links in the email id, regarding my email id in the description section. You can directly mail me for any kind of query on personalized consultations, or you can directly contact me with my Facebook or Instagram account, which will also get in the description section. And by this way you can also feel that as the time will go on during this particular month of September, you will feel that yes, sudden changes are coming which you are forced to take actions upon. Means now the time will come when you will feel that the time has come that I have to act on it. Now how you act on it, that will depend upon the planets which are associated in the sign of Virgo or Pisces in your horoscope. Okay, in that case I apologize for the background noise. Okay, sorry for it. So, and if you are new to this channel, then please subscribe to it and tap onto the notification bell icon, so that every time I make a new video you get a notification for it. Okay, so next time when I come back, I will be coming back with some another interesting video. And if you like this video, press the like button and share it to your near and dear ones. And your comments are always welcome to me. Do write down your queries and your opinions in the comment box. It will be highly inspirational for me. So next time when I come back, till then I'm signing off for today, thanking you. Bye bye.